If you spent any amount of time in the world of tea, wine, coffee, or any other type of specialty food stuff, you might have heard the word terroir. Terroir is the impact of time and place on a foodstuff. Many foods and drinks have noticeable differences in flavor and quality based on the soil and climate that they're grown in, and tea is no different. Or at least, that's what I've been told. Today we're tasting tea from a famous terroir, and by the end of this, we'll see if we can taste the land in this tea. Today's tea is this raw pu'er from Yunnan Sourcing. In particular, this pu'er comes from Yiwu, which will be of special import to us today. And as an extra treat, this is an aged pu'er from 2003, so we have even more to dissect and look forward to from this tea. Looking at the dry leaf, we can see some dark browns here, like very woody browns, mixed with a little bit of like milk chocolate in there, and a very mostly matte finish with a little bit of some kind of silvery hairs here on the buds. Not too many though, it's mostly rougher leaves. Also, while preparing the sample, I noticed that there's a very light compression on it. The leaves just kind of fall apart very easily. What that's going to mean for the tea? I'm not sure. We're going to find out. Now let's begin preheating here. And as I do, I want to tell you a little bit about what Yiwu is. So Yiwu is one of the 6 great tea mountains of Puerh. I say 6 great tea mountains. There's so many great tea mountains, and there's actually multiple sets of 6 that are well known. Yiwu in particular is one of the 6 great ancient mountains. It's located in Zheng Prefecture, which is the southernmost prefecture of Yunnan. Teas from Zheng and especially Yiwu are known for being particularly smooth and floral, which is a little bit counterintuitive to my immediate thought of what a pu'er is. So I'm very curious to see if this flavor profile comes through in the tea. And that's an entire spill. Lovely stuff. Now that our gaiwan is nice and warmed up, let's get a nice smell of the dry leaf and see if we can get any of that fruity or floral character. All right. I'll say that the first thing that I smell here is leather. It's not at all fruit. I'm getting a lot of like actual leather kind of tannin, not literally leather tanning, but not tannins here. Yes, a little bit of smoke, and if I really reach for it, there's something kind of juicy in the background, like a little bit of a fruit, but it's being covered up by a lot of leather and smoke here. So this is honestly kind of the opposite of what I've been told that Yiwu typically contains in it. But we don't know that it's necessarily just the smell, so let's keep trying. I'm using water just off a boil here, right around 98 degrees. Typically, I use really hot water for pu'ers as they tend to stand up to it very well. I would not use this for a green tea, just a typical pu'er tea. So here we are. Now let's give this a nice rinse and see the color of the leaves here. So first, looking at the wet leaves here, notice that the brightness that was in the dry leaf is much more subdued. There are still some areas that have a nice, like, very dark brown, kind of dark greenish brown in there, but not much, honestly. It's mostly a pretty dark brown, a dark woodsy brown here. Before we give the wet leaf a smell, let's look at the rinse here. We have a really nice kind of golden into amber color, much more golden than amber. That looks very standard for... I'd say it's slightly darker than the lightest raw pu'ers I've seen, but really it's on the lighter side, all things considered. And given that this tea is not very compressed, I don't expect the color to change much more. I don't think there's a lot of extra dry leaf sitting in here that has more to give in terms of the infusion. And now the smell of the wet leaf. Oh, there's a dusty peach thing happening under that same tobacco-y leather that I mentioned before. You really... Whether or not I would consider that an overly fruity smell, I'm not sure. It's a very dusty version of peach. Think about the outside of the peach, that kind of like fuzziness. Incorporate that into the smell of the peach. That is what I'm getting here. Oh, that's very lovely though, very inviting. It has been a long time since I've had a pu'er. It's been a few weeks now, and I'm super excited to try this out. But first, let's feed our tea pet here. You know, he's still unnamed, and I have not found a good name for him yet. I've been kind of waiting, but if you have any ideas in the comments, please let me know. After hitting that subscribe button, of course. All right, time for the first infusion, and I gotta say, I'm very excited. Oh man, I have not had tea in like a week, and I've missed it dearly. Alrighty. Yes, I see a whole lot of solids in there. The trichomes are really present. I don't know how well you can see that in the close-up, but this tea is a lot of dissolved solids in it. See how it's almost like bubbly or grainy when you look at it? That is the presence of trichomes in the brew itself. Those usually come from buds, and we did see some of the buds in the leaf, in the dry leaf. We saw that kind of silvery color to it. That is from the trichomes on the buds. Even though there aren't many in this picking, there are still enough to make an impact. And so I'm very curious to see what that will do to the texture of this tea. All right, and this one's for us. Here we are. All right, let's try it. I'll be honest, there isn't much that I'm getting from this infusion. It's kind of difficult for me to pick this one out. Yes, right now I'm only getting the leather. There's no fruit whatsoever. Not a drop. The smell of the dry leaf and the wet leaf honestly had more going on than the actual taste, which is a little bit unfortunate. I wonder if this needs a slightly longer brew. For a first infusion, that's kind of a shame. I was very looking forward to seeing what this one would give us, but here's where the troubleshooting begins. I'm going to give this tea more brews. I want to give this tea a full set and see if I can find and dial in the right kind of brewing parameters for it. With this infusion, I'm going to give it slightly longer. Let's give it an intentional 5 seconds after the brew and see if that brings anything else out. I'll admit I am a bit concerned with overbrewing the tea here, because I found that usually when you overbrew tea, it can be kind of difficult to bring it back into a normal infusion range. There's a level of bitterness that kind of just hangs on to the tea afterwards. I'm not sure why this happens, and I would love to see the science behind it. It's just a thing that I've noticed. Good. It's still quite weak, which is a bit concerning, considering we gave this an intentional 5 seconds here on the second brew. I thought that would have had a much larger effect. Also, pardon me, I just realized I completely forgot to show you all the color of the brew here. Here it is, yes. It has gotten a little bit more dark, a little bit more intense, but not much more, and I think that's about as far as we're getting with it. There's still a good amount of dissolved solids and also some, or not dissolved solids, there's still a good amount of suspended solids in there, along with some non-suspended solids from the leaves. But let's see. Back to this. Good. This tea is still not quite yelling at all. It's still whispering at me, but here there's at least something. Good. Well, first of all, this is a very astringent brew. Well, is that astringent? No. For how long I brewed this is not that astringent, honestly, all things considered. I think a black tea is going to give you more astringency if you brewed it for that long. I did get, for a fleeting second, some of the funk that I was getting in the aroma on the taste, which is nice. I wanted some of that. I'm getting some character from the tea, but honestly not much. Now, unfortunately for the next brew, I considered going up in temperature, but I really can't. I'm already at 99 degrees Celsius. What if I try just infusing for 10 seconds? What will that get me? This is our third infusion here that we're going for. Then here we have the color of the tea. It's maintaining its color very well. That is a very pretty color for a raw pu'er. This is honestly really difficult. I'm not able to pick out much from this. I have brewed this pretty strong. I think the leaf to water ratio is a pretty high one. I'm getting a lot of astringency. I'm just not getting any of the other flavors. It's not that it's bitter. It's not been overbrewed bitter. Like, it's not the sour bitterness that you get from overbrewing. It's just the astringency of the pu'er, which means that this tea just doesn't seem to have much going on. Although, I have one more thing that I want to try. One last thing that I think might help here. Here I have a new toy that I want to try using to see if I can get some more out of this tea. This is called an aroma cup set. This specifically is the aroma cup. And so here's how you use it. First we're gonna brew our tea like normal here. And I'm just gonna go with a pretty quick infusion. I'm gonna do the 5 seconds similar to the previous one. I'm not timing anything exactly here, but this is just what I think will work here. So now we have our tea. You'll go over there. And here's what we'll do. First, you pour the tea into the aroma cup. Then, in this nice, fun little maneuver here, you put the main teacup on top, flip it over, lift, and then you smell the tea, right? Simple enough. So now, as we lift this, the tea will empty into this, and then the aroma will be trapped in here. Flip it over, smell it. Easy enough, right? Now let's see if we can smell anything else in this tea. Not much more. I'm getting some smoke, some like smokiness, maybe a little bit of the leatheriness, but I honestly don't think it did much. This tea is not giving me much to work with. Oh, that's frustrating. Ooh. I don't know if this had anything to do with it, if maybe the flipping it over helped aerate the tea, but I am getting a little bit more flavor out of this brew. I did not expect that. The aroma did not give me anything, but the taste actually did change. I'm at least happy with that. And how did it change? Yeah, the leatheriness that I was smelling, it's actually present again. Woo! There's some flavor here. The astringency is still very present, very drying, makes you want to take another sip immediately afterwards. But now this tea has some flavor. Still no fruitiness. And that's one of the things that I'm very shocked by. I'm going to give this one last infusion before we call it. So let's try this one last one here. We're going to really push it. Let's try 20 seconds. We're going to go really extreme with this and see what we can pull out of this tea. Because we haven't even gotten any of the over-infused flavors yet. None of the really sour bitterness that you would get from an over-infused tea. It's all just been typical flavors, just not much of them, which is very frustrating, frankly. And while we're infusing this, I'd like to invite you to hit like and subscribe to join me for some more, hopefully much more interesting teas in the future, some more interesting video essays on the histories of teas, all sorts of things, all things related to tea here. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the future. Oh, and also while you're down there, let me know what other types of things you'd like to see in the future. I've gotten some amazing suggestions from some of you, and I am working on them. Just wait. All right, so this is a good long infusion here. And the color is noticeably darker and bolder, right? This is a much more intense brew than the previous ones, I'd say. Pouring it into the aroma cup. Let's do our little fun trick. I swear, this part itself has just been incredibly fun, honestly. Ooh. No, not much, not much. I swear, in the past I've gotten really good results from this guy, but this tea, nothing. And it's over infused. We did it. Yeah, I'm getting some of that sourness. That's like sour, over-infused bitterness. That's not really what you want in a tea. But there is at least a flavor there. And I am getting some of the smokiness that I was getting at some point on the aroma. So there's at least something coming out of it. But really, the fact that I had to over-infuse it just to get a flavor is not exactly what I want from a tea. I admit I am a bit disappointed. I thought that this was going to be a much more interesting tea than it is. The fact that it's a 23-year-old tea really doesn't mean much here. And I think that's actually a really important thing to keep in mind, because a lot of people seem to put a lot of stock into age statements, into where a tea comes from. This tea comes from a renowned mountain. It's an old tea. It isn't a great tea. And that happens. There are some teas that are going to be nowhere near as renowned as this. They're going to be only, 1 or 2 years old, that are going to taste way better, right? And that's just how it is. But the real question that we came here to ask was, do we taste the terroir of this tea? And honestly, I don't taste it in this one. It is possible that other Yiwu teas, ones that have been produced differently, maybe ones that are younger, are going to have that flavor, but this one just doesn't. And as someone who wanted that flavor from a tea that advertises it, I just didn't get it, and I'm a little bit disappointed, I gotta say. But you know who won't complain? Our wonderful friend here. So here, have it. And that's going to wrap up this session. I hope you enjoyed this new style. I've been trying something new here, and I really hope that you all like it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything I can improve here. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And I hope you'll join me next time for more oddities.